You know, a lot of times I think when I'm making records, or what people expect out of a Sid Selvidge record is kind of either pure folk or, you know, with some blues, and, you know, either something organic sounding, you know, spare guitar, you know, spare orchestration, you know, or rode hard and put up wet sometime, you know, dirt under the fingernails. And, you know, to me, this record it's the record I need right now, which is you know, something that's joyous and spirited and kind of light, you know, even. And, you know, just the music's going to make you happy around the house, and it's not going to solve your life's problems, or you're not going to emote into it and says that's my marriage gone bad or anything like that, you know. And I think it's just that's what I wanted right now, and I think he got it. Beat up, tired and weary, I'm going out of my head. Another day, another strange town, wondering what I said. You call and say you don't love me. You call me and tell me we're through. You call and say you never want to see me again. What am I gonna do? Gotta find me a fine hotel, some place to lay my head, some place with a great big bed to dream on, some place to hide away, a place where I can stay, a place where I can play and dream on.
The glue for this is Sid's voice. So I've tried to limit our sound field as much as possible and still represent what he is and make a record of songs that he can go out and play by himself, but it's not just a solo album. Sid could have, his voice would fit perfectly like in Athens in like 300 BC. I mean, it's like he could be anywhere with a lute, or, you know, or some sort of funny looking instrument, singing and telling stories, and it would be appropriate. It would be right.
For me to love you now would be the sweetest thing, would make me sing. I might as well try and catch the wind.
Well, yeah, Amy Speace, what a wonderful surprise. I really like the way our voices blend. You know, it's like when it's not a stretch. I'm not looking for anything. I can just go ahead and sing easy, and she sings easy. And, you know, even when we're doing some of the you know, funkier stuff, the voices work well. They really blend in and out nicely to me. So I hope people enjoy it, and I hope she does too.
No, I was actually like completely thrilled when you guys came to town and asked if I'd do a record of, you know, some duets with Sid. I was blown away. I was so excited about the idea. I'd never done anything like that. I've been hired to sing background on some records, and what was funny about it is whenever you sing backup with somebody on their record, you're usually part of a bunch of different voices, and so you get sort of mixed down and you can't really recognize your voice in the end result. So you would get the record like a year later, 6 months later, and you'd think, I guess I'm in there, but I don't really hear me in there. So I didn't really have like a personal relationship to the record when it came out. As with this, you know, from the choosing of the songs to just the initial conversation with Sid about it, I just felt like I was kind of part of the, you know, the creative team. So it was cool because it wasn't my record, but I was able to have a part in it. And just add my little piece, which was really great.
Everything's better with two.
Couple more drinks till they close.
So Amy Speace comes in. She's a wonderful person I've been led to believe she was going to be. She sounds great, and they sounded great together. And sure enough, it is very different. But without becoming someone else. Amy maintained her personality quite well, and we had, you know, we ended up with quite a few songs to like look at and play around with, and I think we got some very magical moments, really, really nice moments between the two of them. Like, it's not just a, you know, it's just not country duet time, you know, there's a very, very special interaction on these songs.
That song, Mary Yanofsky and I wrote. I just read Alan Lightman's Einstein's Dreams, and we were talking about a really cool book, and so that's kind of where the song started taking off. And you know, I think we were talking about, remember when we were kids and you'd hang around the dime store that they had back in my day. My main contributions was were, how about hitting that highway where we can fly away? How about hitting that highway where we can fly away?
I love that song. I remember when I was talking to Sid about this record, the first thing he said when we had a meeting is he said, I don't really write that much. So if you think of anything of your own stuff or other people's stuff or cover songs, let me know, because I really am not a writer. And then he pulls out Dime Store Angel and sends it to me, and I said, well, who wrote that? He said, I wrote this. And I said, you're a total writer. It's a great song. I love that song. Sid's so funny. He's so understated, and you know, he's not one to jump up and down on his own accolades, but lets the rest of us do it.
How about taking some chances, doing wild dances? How about splitting that moonbeam, spending eternity? I'm gonna let you be my time story.
You're gonna look just like a monkey when you get older. Something I've been singing, you know, for a long time. Because I'd heard down in North Mississippi, I'd heard Johnny Woods and Fred McDowell do it and stuff like that. It was around. Ferry Lewis, his house had caught on fire, and he'd gotten a few burns, and he wasn't in bad shape, but he was in the hospital. We were watching television that afternoon up in Ferry's hotel room, and there was a thing of a documentary of a folk festival, and some group was singing this song, and so we just started making up verses. And I mean, we sat there and made up verses for, I guess, an hour or so. And it was just lots of fun, you know, lots of joy and stuff like that. And we were looking forward to Ferry getting out in the hospital, and, you know, whatever else came down the pike. And 2 days later, he had a heart attack and died. And so that was the last we saw of it. So that song's always been real special to me because of that. You know, it's my last memories of Ferry, which was like way positive and up there. So I'm glad I got it, you know. And now that Lee's dead and Ferry are both dead, you know. Well, I conjure them, you know. I try to channel them both. There's when I say the monkey part, and you're gonna look just like a monkey when you get old. That's Lee Baker. That's when we would play that song. After Ferry died, that was how he'd do it. So it's real special to me.
You gon' look just like a monkey when you get old. You gon' look just like a monkey when you get old. Darling, I can tell by your shape that your mammy was an ape. You gon' look just like a monkey when you get old. You gon' look just like a monkey when you get old. Oh, you gon' look just like a monkey when you get old. I can tell by the way you hang that your pappy was an orangutan. You gon' look just like a monkey when you get old.